Welcome to the podcast, where a passion meets purpose and limits are challenged. I'm your host, Eleonora Gendelman. Let's start bending reality. Right now, in this very moment, abundance exists as a frequency all around us. Our job isn't to create abundance. Our job is to tune into it. And today, I'm going to share with you the most important daily practice that will literally rewire your brain to become an abundance antenna. Many of us find ourselves in working harder, pushing more, trying to force abundance mode. The truth is, abundance isn't something we chase. It's something we allow through consistent, intentional practice. Our thoughts are not just abstract concepts. They are electrical impulses that create magnetic fields, and these fields interact with a quantum field of infinite possibilities. Our brain doesn't know the difference between what's happening in our outer world and what we're imagining in our inner world. Every time you think a thought, you are firing specific neural networks. When you combine that thought with an elevated emotion, you're literally broadcasting a signal into the field of possibilities. The latest research shows us something remarkable. When you practice a specific thought pattern consistently, coupled with the right emotional state, you're not just changing your mind. You are changing your brain's physical structure. You are creating new neural networks dedicated to abundance, and that's exactly what we are going to focus on today. The specific daily practice that will help you shift from living in survival mode to living in creation mode. Because when we understand how to do this one thing consistently, we'll stop trying to make abundance happen and start allowing it to flow naturally into our life. The secret lies in the morning hours, before our analytical mind kicks in. That's when we have the power to literally reprogram our brain for abundance. Every single one of us is connected to a field of infinite possibilities, a field that responds to our consciousness. When you think a thought, you are creating an electrical impulse in your brain. This electrical impulse creates a magnetic field that extends beyond our body. Scientists can measure these fields. Your thoughts are literally broadcasting electromagnetic signals into space around you. Your brain operates on different frequencies throughout the day. Beta brainwaves keep you in that analytical, survival thinking mode. Checking your phone, worrying about bills, rushing to meetings, that's living in stress. And stress is the end product of living in survival. When you are in beta mode, you are thinking predictably based on the known. But when you slow down your brainwaves to alpha and theta states through meditation, something magical happens. These slower brainwave patterns allow you to become more suggestible to new information. You bypass that analytical mind that keeps saying, "This isn't possible," or "This won't work for me." You enter a state where you can begin to program new beliefs about abundance. Let me explain the science behind this. Every time you have a thought, you activate a specific set of circuits in your brain. Every time you feel an emotion, you activate chemicals that influence every cell in your body. When you think the same thoughts and feel the same emotions repeatedly, you are strengthening these neural networks, just like building muscles at the gym. The problem is, most people have trained their brains to fire the same circuits related to lack, scarcity, and limitation. They wake up every morning and within minutes, their brain shifts into those familiar patterns of thinking and feeling that keep them connected to their past. They are literally using their brain in the same way, creating the same level of mind, expecting something different to happen in their life. But here's the good news. Your brain is neuroplastic. It can form new neural networks at any age. When you practice thinking new thoughts about abundance and combine them with elevated emotions like gratitude, joy, and possibility, you are building new neural pathways. You are literally rewiring your brain to recognize and attract abundance. Think of it like tuning a radio. Right now, most people are tuned to the frequency of their past, the old story of limitation, but when you understand that abundance operates on a specific frequency, you begin to tune your brain to that frequency through consistent practice. The quantum field responds to coherent brainwave patterns, not just wishful thinking. This is why sporadic visualization or occasional positive thinking doesn't create lasting change. You need to build strong neural networks through daily practice. It's like learning a new language or instrument. You wouldn't expect to become fluent by practicing once a month. The same principle applies to programming your brain for abundance. Your brain's natural tendency is to slip back into familiar patterns, the default mode. This is why creating a new neural network for abundance requires focused, consistent effort. You're not just changing your thoughts, you are changing the very structure of your brain, creating new pathways that make abundance your new normal. Neurons that fire together wire together. Every time you practice this new way of thinking and being, you are strengthening these abundance circuits, making them more automatic, more natural, more you. Most people stay stuck in the same patterns, not because they don't want to change, but because they have literally become addicted to their familiar emotional states. Your body doesn't know the difference between an emotion created by an actual experience and an emotion created by thought alone. Every time you have a thought, it produces a chemical in your brain, and your body responds to that chemical. If you spent years thinking thoughts of scarcity and feeling the emotions of lack, your body has become addicted to those chemicals. It's like having an internal pharmacy that keeps giving you the same emotional medicine. Day after day, your cells have developed receptors for these chemicals, and they literally crave them. And that's why, when you try to think differently, your body starts pulling you back to those familiar feelings, even if they do not serve you. What most people do, they wake up in the morning and within minutes, their brain connects to all the problems and emotions of their past. They start thinking about their bills, their stress, their limitations, and boom, their body is flooded with the same chemicals it's addicted to. They're starting their day by reinforcing the very patterns they're trying to break free from. The body has become the mind. It's running the show based on past programming. Your body is literally dragging your mind back to the same thoughts that create the same chemicals that keep you stuck in the same patterns. It's a cycle that keeps repeating unless you consciously break it. Now, here's where consistent practice becomes absolutely crucial. To break free from these patterns, you need to do something that might feel uncomfortable at first. You need to think greater than you feel. Your feelings are just a residue of past experiences. If you wait to feel different before you change your thoughts, you'll stay stuck forever. The key is to start your day before your body tries to drag you back into its programmed emotional states. This is why morning practice is so powerful. When you wake up, there's a brief window before your analytical mind kicks in, before your body starts demanding its familiar emotional chemicals. This is your opportunity to create a new pattern. Most people live their lives waiting for something outside of them to change how they feel inside. They are waiting for their bank account to change, their relationship to improve, their health to get better. But that's the old model of reality. That's cause and effect. The new model of reality is that you have to feel abundant before abundance shows up in your life. You have to feel healthy before your body begins to heal. You have to feel loved before that relationship appears. This is the law of attraction at its most fundamental level, but it requires consistent practice to master. Let me explain why this is so important. Every time you sit down to do your morning practice, you are literally building new neural networks. You are teaching your body a new emotional state. At first, it feels hard because you're going against years of programming. Your body might resist. Your mind might say, this isn't working. That's normal. That's just the old programming trying to maintain its existence. But here's the beautiful thing about consistent practice. Every time you maintain these new thoughts and emotions, despite what your body is telling you, you are literally breaking the addiction to your old self. You are telling your body that mind is greater than matter. You are becoming the master of your own energy. The secret is to stay committed to your practice, even when you don't see immediate results. You are not just changing your thoughts, you are changing your entire energy field. You are creating new neural networks, new synaptic connections, new genetic expressions. This takes time. It's like building a muscle. You wouldn't go to the gym once and expect to see massive changes. When you understand this, you stop looking for immediate results and start trusting the process. You recognize that every morning practice is like making a deposit in your abundance bank account. Some days might feel better than others, but it's the consistency that creates the compound effect. And here's something remarkable. Once you break through that initial resistance, once you've practiced long enough to create new neural networks, maintaining these new patterns becomes easier. Your new thoughts and emotions start to feel more natural. Your body begins to crave these new emotional states. You are no longer fighting against your programming. You are creating a new program, a new normal, a new you. This is breaking the habit of being yourself. You are literally becoming someone new by consistently practicing a new way of thinking, feeling, and being. And when you do this every single morning without fail, you are not just changing your mind, you are changing your entire life. So let me show you exactly how to set up your daily abundance practice. This is where theory meets application, where knowledge becomes power. The environment you create for this practice is very important because it sends a signal to your body that it's time to move into a new state of being. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. This is non-negotiable. Turn off your phone, not on silent, completely off. Your nervous system can sense when your phone is on and part of your attention remains alarmed to potential interruptions. Remove watches, tight clothing, anything that might distract you from going within. Your posture matters more than you might think. Sit in a chair with your back straight, feet flat on the floor, hands resting comfortably in your lap. This position allows energy to flow freely through your body. Do not lie down. You're not going to sleep. You're going to enter a heightened state of awareness. Some people prefer sitting cross-legged, and that's fine too, as long as you can maintain the position comfortably for at least 15 minutes. Let's talk about breathing. This is where the magic begins. Start with long, slow breaths into your belly. Feel your abdomen expand on the inhale and contract on the exhale. This activates your parasympathetic nervous system, moving you out of stress and into coherence. But here's the key. Feel as if you are drawing in pure potential, pure abundance from the quantum field. Try this right now. Breathe in through your nose for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and exhale through your mouth for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Do this a few times and you'll notice your mind starting to calm down. This is you moving from beta brainwaves into alpha and theta states. As you continue breathing, bring your attention to your heart center. The heart produces an electromagnetic field 5,000 times stronger than the brain. When you breathe while focusing on your heart, you are creating what scientists call heart coherence. This is measurable, and this coherent state allows you to access higher states of consciousness. Here's where most people make a mistake. They try to think their way into abundance, but remember, thoughts are just the language of the brain. Feelings are the language of the body. You need to move from thinking about abundance to feeling abundant. This is where you start living by the quantum law that says you must feel the emotion of your future before that future can become your present reality. Start generating elevated emotions. Feel gratitude as if your abundance has already manifested. Feel the joy of financial freedom. Feel the excitement of unlimited possibilities. Your body doesn't know the difference between a real experience and one that's vividly imagined. When you combine clear intention with elevated emotion, you are broadcasting a powerful signal into the quantum field. This field is responsive to coherent emotional states. When you are in a state of gratitude, joy, or freedom, your heart's electromagnetic field becomes more coherent. This coherent field interacts with the quantum field in a way that begins to organize matter and circumstances in your life to match your internal state. As you sit in this practice, you might notice thoughts trying to pull you back to your old reality. This is normal. Do not fight these thoughts. That creates resistance. Instead, gently return to your breathing and those elevated emotions. Every time you choose to focus on abundance rather than lack, you are strengthening those new neural networks we talked about. Now, here's a powerful technique to amplify your practice. Start to see yourself living in complete abundance. But do not just visualize it. Step into that reality with all your senses. What does abundance feel like in your body? What does it smell like, taste like? How do you walk when you're completely abundant? How do you talk? What decisions do you make? Make it so real that your brain and body begin to believe it's happening right now. Remember, the quantum field responds to who you are being, not what you're wanting. Most people spend their meditation practice focusing on what they want, reinforcing the lack of it in their lives. Instead, we need to become abundance. Feel it in every cell of our body. Let it inform every breath we take. As you deepen into this practice, you might start to feel tingling sensations, waves of energy, or even emotional releases. These are signs that you are beginning to change your energy field. You are literally changing your signature in the quantum field. Do not analyze these sensations. That pulls you back into beta brain waves. Just observe them and keep breathing. The final phase of your practice is very important. You need to surrender your creation to the quantum field. Let go of how abundance will show up in your life. Your analytical mind wants to figure out all the details, but that limits the infinite possibilities available to you. Trust that when you change your energy, your life must change to match it. Before you end your practice, take a moment to feel profound gratitude for what's about to unfold in your life. Feel grateful for the ability to connect with the field of infinite possibilities. Feel grateful for your new understanding of how reality works. This gratitude amplifies your signal to the universe. When you open your eyes, maintain this elevated state as long as possible. Do not immediately check your phone or jump into your to-do list. Give your body time to fully integrate this new energy pattern. Remember, you are not just doing a meditation, you are literally reprogramming your body's electromagnetic field. Do this practice every single morning without fail. Do not wait until you feel like it. That's your old self trying to maintain its existence. Make it non-negotiable, like brushing your teeth. Because every time you sit down to practice, you're literally reshaping your brain, rewriting your energy signature, and reorganizing the quantum field in your favor. Your future self already exists in the quantum field as a possibility wave. When you truly understand this, you'll stop trying to get somewhere and start calling that future to you. Most people keep creating the same future from their past because they are being their past self. But your future self, that abundant, powerful, fully actualized version of yourself, exists right now in the eternal present moment. Let me tell you how to step into that future self every single day. Instead of waking up and immediately thinking about your current problems, you need to put your attention on who you are becoming. This isn't pretending. This is calling forth a possibility that already exists in the quantum field. The art of mental rehearsal is absolutely crucial. Olympic athletes use mental rehearsal because it creates the same neural networks as physical practice. When you mentally rehearse being your future self with intense emotion, you're not just visualizing, you are actually installing the neurological hardware to become that person. Try this right now. Close your eyes and see yourself as that future self who has already achieved everything you are working toward. How does this version of you start their day? What thoughts do they think? What choices do they make? Do not just think about it. Feel it in your body. Your body has to believe it's happening right now. When that future self walks into your room, how do they carry themselves? When they speak, what energy do they bring? When they make decisions about money, what wisdom do they access? You are not pretending to be someone else. You are calling forth the highest version of yourself that already exists as a possibility. Here's where most people get stuck. They try to become their future self while carrying the emotional addictions of their past self. Remember, emotions are the chemicals residue of past experiences. Your future self has different emotional patterns, different chemical signatures. You need to practice feeling the emotions of your future until they become more familiar than your past emotions. Let me give you a practical example. Your future abundant self doesn't wake up feeling anxious about money. They do not check their bank account from a place of fear. They make financial decisions from a place of wisdom and confidence. Start practicing those emotions now. When you look at your current bank account, practice feeling the same level of security and abundance your future self feels. This is how you become supernatural in your daily life. Instead of waiting for something outside of you to change how you feel inside, you change how you feel inside and watch your outer world reorganize itself to match your new energy. Every time you make a decision, ask yourself, what would my future self do? Not from a place of should or obligation, but from a place of already being that person. Would your future abundant self skip their morning practice? Would they make choices from fear? Would they compromise their energy for short-term comfort? And here's something super fascinating about this process. As you consistently practice being your future self, your personality starts to change. Your personality is made up of how you think, act, and feel. When you change these three elements, you literally become a new person. Your family and friends might even say, you're not the same person anymore. And they are right. The key is to maintain this new state even when your external environment hasn't caught up yet. This is where most people fall back into their old self. They practice being their future self for a while, but when they don't see immediate results, they revert to their past programming. Remember, the external world is just a printout of your past thoughts and emotions. It takes time for reality to reorganize itself around your new energy signature. Your future self understands something profound. They know that abundance isn't about getting more. It's about becoming more. They don't chase opportunities. They attract them by maintaining a coherent electromagnetic field of abundance. They don't hope for a better future. They create it by being it in the present moment. Start living as if your future has already happened. When you get dressed in the morning, dress like your future self. When you speak to others, speak with the confidence of your future self. When you make choices about how you spend your time and energy, make them as your future self would. This isn't fake it till you make it. This is being it until you become it. There's a massive difference. Faking it comes from a place of lack. Being it comes from a place of knowing that this version of you already exists in the quantum field, and you are simply tuning into that frequency. In the quantum field, there is no time. Your future self isn't someday. It's available right now. Every time you step into that energy, every time you make choices from that place of knowing, you are collapsing infinite waves of possibility into your present moment experience. You are bending reality. You're literally calling forth a new destiny by becoming it first in your mind and body. Let's talk about what really stops people from maintaining this practice, and it's not what you think. The biggest obstacle isn't external circumstances. It's the moment when your body, programmed by years of past experiences, starts to resist your new future. You'll feel doubt creeping into your mind, saying, "This isn't working," or "This is taking too long." Recognize these thoughts for what they are, the old neural networks fighting to stay alive. Doubt shows up, and it will. Remember, this doubt is just your past trying to predict your future. Your past has no power to create your future. Every time you feel doubt, that's your opportunity to practice a greater level of certainty. Do not try to find the doubt that creates more resistance. Instead, return to your breath, return to your heart, return to the feeling of knowing. External distractions are another challenge you will face. Your phone will ring, your boss will have urgent requests. Life will try to pull you back into your old patterns. And this is where you need to get serious about creating boundaries around your morning practice. Your new life must be more important than your current circumstances. If you have to wake up an hour earlier, do it. If you need to find a quiet space outside your home, do it. Remember, your external world will reorganize itself once you reorganize your internal world. Here's something important about handling distractions. Do not make them wrong. The moment you resist what's happening, you are creating more of the same energy that keeps you stuck. Instead, use every distraction as an opportunity to practice staying in your new state of being. Your future self isn't thrown off by unexpected events. They maintain their coherent state regardless of external circumstances. Now let's address the habit of time. Most people are addicted to living in linear time, always waiting for some day, for the right moment, for everything to be perfect. But in the quantum field, there is no time. Your future isn't coming. It's happening right now. Every time you catch yourself saying, "When this happens, then I'll feel abundant," you are pushing your future away. Start living as if time doesn't exist. Make decisions from the end result. Maintaining consistency is where most people stumble. They practice for a few days, maybe a few weeks, then fall back into old patterns. Remember this, it's better to practice for 5 minutes every single day than to do a marathon session once a month. Your brain and body need daily repetition to create new neural networks. Set yourself up for success by making your practice sustainable. Create a non-negotiable agreement with yourself. Your morning practice isn't something you do when you feel like it. It's something you do because it's who you are becoming. Your future self doesn't skip days. They don't make excuses. They show up every single morning because they understand that consistency is the bridge between who you are and who you are becoming. When you stay committed to this practice, despite all obstacles, despite all doubts, despite all distractions, you are literally rewiring your brain to operate at a new level. You are training your body to maintain a new energy field. You are becoming someone new. And that's why the quantum field has no choice but to reorganize reality to match who you've become. When you stay committed to this practice, you'll start noticing subtle shifts in your reality. Your body will give you signals that transformation is happening. You might experience unusual waves of energy moving through your body. These are physical signs that you are literally upgrading your nervous system's capacity to hold higher frequencies. Pay attention to your emotional state throughout the day. You'll notice that things that used to trigger stress responses do not affect you the same way anymore. You'll catch yourself responding to challenges with a new level of calm and clarity. This isn't positive thinking. This is your nervous system operating at a higher order. The synchronicities will start showing up in your life. You'll think of someone and they will call. You'll need something and it appears in kind of like an unexpected ways. The right people will show up at exactly the right time. Some people call this luck or coincidence, but you will understand it's simply the quantum field responding to your new energy signature. Watch what happens in your relationships. Some people might start acting differently around you. They will respond to your new energy without knowing why. Some relationships might fall away. That's natural. You're vibrating at a different frequency. At the same time, new relationships will appear, matching your new level of consciousness. Your external circumstances will begin shifting in ways that might seem magical. Unexpected opportunities will present themselves. Money might show up from unexpected sources. Projects you've been pushing to make happen start unfolding effortlessly. This is what happens when you stop operating from cause and effect and start operating from the quantum field. These changes are not random. They are direct feedback from the universe, showing you that your practice is working. You're no longer the same person, sending out the same electromagnetic signature. You've become someone new, and the quantum field is reorganizing reality to match your new frequency. This is the scientific proof that your daily practice is literally changing your destiny. The most important thing you can do right now, starting tomorrow morning, is commit to this practice. Not just for a day, not just when you feel like it, but for the next 30 days without missing a single morning. This is your opportunity to break free from the past and step into a new destiny. Think about it. In just 30 days of consistent practice, you can literally rewire your brain, rewire your energy field, and reshape your relationship with abundance. But you have to make this commitment bigger than your current circumstances, bigger than your feelings, bigger than your past. Your future self is calling you forward. That version of you who lives in complete abundance, who makes decisions from possibility instead of survival, who creates instead of reacts. That's who you are becoming through this practice, and the only thing standing between you and that future is your willingness to show up every morning and do the work. Do not wait for the perfect moment. Do not wait until you feel ready. The quantum field responds to your commitment. Now, make this the moment you finally break the habit of being your past self and step into the energy of your future self. Your new life is waiting on the other side of this commitment. The time for living in limitation is over. The time for thriving in abundance is now. See you tomorrow morning, bright and early, as we begin this journey of transformation together. You will find your meditation in the next episode. If you found this episode valuable, please rate, review, and share with someone who would benefit as well. Thank you for choosing yourself, doing the work, and creating change. Keep living with purpose.